Man, it looks like this is probably not gonna happen tonight. Can you guys see me? Let's see. Let me give it one more chance. If not, then I'm just gonna screw it till I get the Wi-Fi working again. Hopefully we should be good. Give it some time. So what's up with everybody? I had to do this on my stupid phone because I don't know what the hell's going on with my Wi-Fi. I have to call the cable tomorrow. It's good, bro. Just irritated. Everything's not working on here, man. My phone's tripping. My Wi-Fi's tripping. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So it's kind of irritating me. Makes me not even want to do this live. Well, let's see. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Because now I'm on my phone, so I don't know. My phone's tripping too. Can you guys hear me? Is it stalling still? If it's still stalling, I'm cutting it out, and we'll just do it tomorrow, or once I get my Wi-Fi working again. Because I don't know what the heck is going on. Let me know if you guys can see me. You guys can hear me loud and clear. Is it still stalling? Let me know. Come on, man. Let me know. I don't got time to play around. Just let me know if you can see it. If you can't see it, then I'll get off, man. Or is it still stalling? Is it stalling or is it cool? If it's keep on going. Let me know in the comments, cause I don't know. I don't know what the heck was going on my computer, and I tried on my phone, and my phone's giving me problems too. So it's like, what the heck? The internet just don't like me today. It's a curse. Texas? You're in Texas? But anyway, what's going on, man? So today, what we're gonna talk about today is live with Jay. What's up, Lucrative? What's up, Sabella? What's up, Real John? What's up, Shortcuts? Everybody who's on here today. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk about today something that I keep hearing about over and over again. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion and just talk a little bit about my personal opinion of what I think is the reason. So, the one thing that's going on right now, everybody keeps talking about, is how California crime is out of control. And that was kind of what I wanted to talk about in today's live with Jay. I don't have a particular. Well, I couldn't even do a interview if I wanted to because you can see my. Unfortunately, my StreamYard is not working. It's acting weird. But anyway, just wanted to talk about the thing that everyone keeps talking about, that California crime is out of control and stuff is lawless, that a lot of it is because of defunding the police or because of other things, of people being, or the government being kind of relaxed on laws, you know what I mean, putting people in jail like they're not putting people in jail the way they used to, you know, stuff like that, you know what I mean. So we want to talk about what is what is the cause, and if it's anything new, if you know, and we'll talk about historically about crime in the past in California. And those of us who are old enough that lived through the past and know that, we at one point we had some of the strictest laws in probably the United States. We were locking up people like crazy. There's a reason why we have a huge prison industrial complex in California. You know what I mean? But we'll talk about that, and we'll get everybody's feedback, especially if you live in California. You might know more what I'm talking about. If you're not in California, well, at least you'll learn. What's up, Mr. Goyle? How you been, bro? Yay, yay! But Yeah, how's everybody been, man? Hopefully good. Hopefully you had a good day. You know what I mean? I had a pretty cool day. I'm just kind of not angry, just a little annoyed at these. We talk about that too, about martial law as well, and vigilantism. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of irritated because I'm doing good. Breathe, still alive, breathing, can't complain for sure. I've been busy, just doing my thing. It's a little irritated because I don't know. Like today, I woke up, my Wi-Fi just wasn't working. We called the cable. They said they were going to send somebody to check it out. I think crime is more now because social media. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the different things. Did my stupid phone pause? Stupid phone. Hold on. God, this is so annoying, bro. This is why. Look at my dirty closet. You guys see my dirty closet. Hey, I cleaned my closet. What's up, Tone Loc? All right, so let's get into it. I did. That's what I was doing earlier. I hooked up my phone to my laptop, and it was still doing that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is, bro. You know, I get both, and then the cable's not working right either. So I don't know what it is. Something to do with the cable. That's why I said we call the cable. They're gonna send somebody. They're gonna say somebody to check it out tomorrow. Might be the box, possibly. I'm not sure, but hopefully it should be resolved tomorrow. But anyway, so let's get into the topic at hand. So I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. Not everything I watch is entertainment. I watch some of the political stuff and some of the stuff that people are talking about. And the number one thing that people are talking about right now is how out of control crime is in California. And I mean, I question that because I'm 45 years old, and I lived long enough in the state to know that crime has always been kind of out of control in California. Let's keep it real. California, at least in the last 30 years, or even more, maybe the last 40 years, let's say 40 years, many of us who are old enough to remember, crime has been a problem in California for a long time. And those of us who remember the 80s and 90s, we know the crack epidemic, the gangs, you know what I mean? All that good stuff, took a lot of people's lives and then created a lot of criminality in the streets. You know what I mean? Especially the crack epidemic, which was blamed on a lot of things, but it was more than just a crack epidemic. It was just that whole era. Let's just call it the Ronald Reagan era. That was the beginning of it, really. You know what I mean? And and you know, many cities like Oakland, um, Rich, San Francisco, Los Angeles, even Sacramento, Stockton. A lot of cities in California have had, especially major cities, have had high crime rates since that time. Even San Jose at one point had a high crime rate. Even small towns like Salinas, you know what I mean, have had a high crime rate for a long time. And the number one blamer of crime in the past was definitely the crack epidemic. And what was the crack epidemic? I would say it started even before the crack epidemic. It started with the opioid epidemic when a lot of the drug dealers were selling heroin. That's really where it all started, and that started more in the 70s and 80s, early 80s, and that's really where the violence started in California. At least in a lot of California cities like Oakland, and it's no secret that people like what's up, man? It's no secret that people like Felix Mitchell, Ricky Mo, and some of the old drug dealers in Oakland got rich from selling heroin. That was the first drug, and then in the mid 80s, obviously heroin went out and crack cocaine came in. The freak base, it started with the freak basing and then it graduated to rock cocaine. And there's a lot of theories of where it came from. Some people say it started in LA, some people say it started in Oakland, some people say it started in Hollywood. Actually, it did start in Hollywood. It were freak basing a lot of times with people with money because only people with money could really afford it. Change before we would hear it now with social media. Everybody's like, wow, couldn't we hear it? Exactly, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So, definitely with the crack epidemic, the gang wars of the past, the Crips and Bloods, the Norteños, Sureños, BBs, all that good stuff, man. The turfs fighting over drugs in the 80s and 90s, that definitely, we can't lie, probably in the first time in California's history at that time did you ever see the homicide rate and the crime rate go out of control. You know what I mean? Cities had never experienced more than 100 homicides before that. You know what I mean? I think I even read a stat that in I want to say in 1960 something, and I know this is true, there were like 20 homicides in LA, in the whole city of LA, and that was considered high back then. You know what I mean? And in the 60s, people were like, damn, that's 20 homicides. That's a lot. Crime is out of control. So that goes to show you that homicides were not a big thing before. They did happen, of course. Homicides have been happening forever. As long as people have had weapons or knew how to kill, they've been killing. But the record number of homicides, people weren't offing each other like that, like the Wild West. You know what I mean? And definitely the 80s and 90s was the first time really in history where you started seeing 100, 200, 300, homicides a year. You know what I mean? Like in LA, they were having up to like at one point like 600 homicides in a year, bro. Like in the 90s. Oakland, the highest it ever had was about almost 200. I think it was like 180 something, and that was in 92. That was the most violent era um, in Oakland's history, 1992. It was the highest homicide rate ever recorded, and it was close to 200. Was in 92. You know what I mean? And it wasn't 200 exactly. It was like 180 or something. It was a high number. And really, if you look at the stacks of Oakland, let's talk about Oakland because that's, a lot of us are from there. That's where I'm from originally. You know, the homicide rate skyrocketed between the years of 1988 till about 1994. It was really high. It was like in the past the hundreds. It was in the higher hundreds. I think in 90 in 89 it might have been 120 maybe. In 90 it might have been like 130. In 91 it might have been like 160 probably. And 92 it was like 100 and like almost 200. And in 94, 93, 94 it was pretty high out there too. And then in 95 on to about 2000 it kind of dropped down just a little bit. There was still homicides going on, but it had dropped down a little bit. One thing that we didn't have as much in the 90s that we have today, we didn't have so many unstable people out there, man. You know what I mean? My homie Russ, West Side Bro was murdered in East Oakland. Yeah, that must have been in 92. But one thing that, what was I say? I lost my concentration with that. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, like it seemed like the homicides had kind of dropped a little bit. Oh, that's what I was saying. So one thing that we didn't have as much in those times that we have now, we didn't have so much uncontrolled homelessness. We didn't have so many unstable people and mentally ill people on the streets like we do too. Uh, we didn't have that much back then. Yeah, there were homeless people, there were crackheads, there were tweakers, for sure, but it wasn't nowhere It wasn't nowhere compared to how it is today, and that is a big change, which we will talk about that California's hit. Now let's talk about laws in California, which is something uh not really lucrative. There's been up and downs in Oakland for sure. If and I know because I researched this stuff. There's been up and downs for sure. The homicide rate was bad in the late 80s, early 90s. It kind of tapped down a little tiny bit in the late 90s, early 2000s. And around the hyphy movement, probably around 2003 to about like 2010, it went up again. Again, that's another thing. We go into the second era of high crime in Oakland. We have the hyphy era. And why particularly that era the crime rate went so high, there's a lot of debate about that. But during the hyphy era, which was around 2003 all the way to about 2010 probably, the homicide rate was high. And there was still a lot of the drug killings. There was still, that was the Norte Sur and Border Brother beef was really really high at that point. A lot of people got killed in that. And then it seemed like when Oakland really gentrified, which started really, I always say it started around 2012, is really when you started noticing the big gentrification in Oakland. I think there was still a lot of homicides and crime, but I think it went down a little bit to the point where they needed to keep they needed to keep it down in order to bring these gentrifiers into Oakland back then. And obviously we can't act like there wasn't gentrification. There was. Oakland, I would say between 2012 until about the COVID. Let's face it, man. Oakland was a backyard for white people, bro. Let's keep it real, bro. You know what I mean? It was, and and you see a lot of the gentrification. They started building all these condos. They started bringing in people from out of town, tech workers, all that stuff, and everything that's on Telegraph and Broadway and downtown. Let's be real. They built that for white folks, bro. They didn't build that for us, bro. Let's be real, bro. And they the, Oakland, I think at that time thought maybe this is how we're gonna get rid of the crime in Oakland by gentrifying the fuck out of everything and pushing out all the poor people. But Oakland got its reality. At least the gentrifiers got their reality check when COVID happened. And when COVID happened, it seemed like crime skyrocketed once again in Oakland. And shootings, out of control sideshows, homeless people everywhere. Freeway shootings, which weren't too common in the past. That's more of a new thing. They did happen once in a while, I remember, but they weren't so common like now. People getting big. Now, people getting mugged and robbed, that's old. That's been going on forever in Oakland, so that ain't nothing new. So I'm not even going to take that into account. But, Asian people being attacked for no reason, elderly Asian people. The gentrifiers were like, screw this. I'm not going to pay all this money to be in this crime ridden city. So they left. A lot of them left. And it's noticeable. It's really noticeable. When I go to downtown Oakland, now I don't see that many white folks walking around downtown Oakland like I used to. You know what I mean? But let's talk about the different things. So today, people, the thing is California's out of control. California defunded its police. California liberals are too soft on crime. California this and California. That's the arguments that I hear on the net all the time. Because I listen, I observe. I've always been a political type person. And I observe because I'm curious. And, sometimes I wonder, do these people that are arguing this, are they either too young and don't remember? Or maybe they weren't in California, but California's always had crime. Always had crime. It's nothing new, you know. But it does seem like after COVID, something happened, bro. You know what I mean? Something happened. The world kind of did go a little crazy. I don't know, man. It does. I gotta admit, it does look a little dystopian out there when I go out there sometimes, man. You know, like I never seen Oakland so just sad looking like it looks right now, man. In all my life in Oakland, I never seen that, bro. You know, it's a trip. You know, and Oakland was pretty hood and ghetto in my day, but when I go out there now, it's like, wow. You know, I think some people moved in Oakland because it makes. But, you know, but let's talk about that. So in the 80s and 90s, California passed some of the strictest laws. We had one of the strictest governors then. You know what I mean? We had not necessarily Julio, not necessarily. It's always been hood, but it didn't look like it looks now. I could guarantee you that, bro. You know, in the old days, we had Pete Wilson, who was a freaking Republican, racist Republican. You know, we had Duke Majan, who was also a Republican. Wasn't his name Duke Majan was his name, right? The one before Pete Wilson. Um, you know, the three strikes law was passed at that time. All kinds of incarceration laws were passed, gang injunctions, curfews, you name it. It was all out there. I mean, if you're old like me, bro, you remember when used to go out to Oakland. You know what I mean? It'd be a police state in Oakland when I was. Anyway, we'll talk about that, Gato Negro. But you know, like when I was young, Oakland was a police state. Let's keep it real. You would go to Oakland, bro, and you'd see a cop car on every corner in Oakland, bro. No lie. And besides the regular police, you would see the task force, the gang task force. You see the housing authority. You see the vice squad. I mean, on every corner in Oakland, you'd see them, bro. You'd see them on dirt bikes. If you remember back in the days when the police used to roll on dirt bikes, you know what I mean? We'll talk about that. But I mean, what I'm trying to get is in those days, Oakland was a police state. Most California cities were a police state. Let's talk about L.A. Even though I'm not from L.A., well, look at L.A. L.A. was the freaking police state. They had the task force. They had the crash unit. You know what I mean? They. You know, you couldn't even hang out on a street corner in L.A. without being messed with. So California was really strict with the laws back then. But at the same time, crime was still out of control in LA and Oakland and Richmond and Sacramento and a lot of cities. You know, East Palo Alto back in those days, you know what I mean? East Side San Jose was pretty bad back then. You know, a lot of cities were off the hook back then, you know. Even Salinas. Salinas has a long, we don't hear too much about it, but actually Salinas is another town that has a long history with crime. Stockton has a long history with crime. I'm sure Modesto probably has a lot of long history with crime. Fresno, you know, a lot of cities in California. It's not just the Bay and LA cities. You know what I mean? So, you know, in the old days, we were very strict with the laws. We were locking people up like it was no tomorrow. You know, a lot of people forget the three strikes law actually, uh, um, the three strikes law, a lot of people forget it was actually created because of Richard Allen Davis. If you guys remember Richard Allen Davis, uh, he was the one that kidnapped Polly Klaas, and the reason they started the three strikes law is because Richard Allen Davis had previous arrests for pedophilia, and it was out in the streets when he has a history of doing this stuff. So that's where the three strike law came from. A lot of people don't remember that. You know what I mean? I remember when the polyclass thing happened. You want to know another thing? Around the same time that polyclass was killed, a a young Chicana girl who was like 13 was violated and killed in Richmond, supposedly by a Sudanese, was what the story I heard. And her name was oh damn it, I'm so mad that I don't remember her name, and I remember Polly Class's name. Um, but she was murdered in Richmond, and no one cared about it. And it happened exactly around the same time that Polly Class happened. You know what I mean? Because it went down as some gang stuff. You know. But maybe you guys might remember her name. But it's just, I think her name was Cecilia Rios. I want to say. You know what I mean? But it happened around the same time at Richmond. Yeah, and but yeah, the three strikes law happened because of Polly Class. That's really where it came from. You know what I mean? But yeah, there. I think her name was Cecilia Rios. I think that was the name of the girl that got killed in Richmond. Yeah, you had the riders. You had the Rampart scandal in L.A. You know, you had the Cowboy scandal in Richmond in the '80s. You know, there was a lot of scandals back in those days, bro. You know, still scandals to this day. You know, right now there's a scandal what in Antioch, right? There's some cops were like texting like racist stuff or something like that. But you know, like it seems like this time after COVID, you know, it seemed like crime went up again, pretty high in California. But I think it's not all necessarily gang related or drug related like it was in the past. A lot of it is, but you know, you have a lot of people that were unemployed. You had a lot of people that didn't have work. You had a lot of people who didn't know what the hell was gonna happen. Uh, I don't know, and it seems like after the George Floyd riots, it seemed like some people. No, I think he was already governor when that happened. It just I don't know. To me, it just seems like I don't know if I'm just older. It just seems like people are being shot and killed more over random stuff. You know, compared to like before. Before it was more like people getting shot and killed. People before it was people would get shot and killed over like gang related stuff or drug related stuff. Now it seems like people are just randomly shooting each other over. Um, yeah, Cecilia Rios, San Pablo. Okay, well Richmond, San Pablo, and you know we didn't have the homeless situation. Uh, we didn't have the homeless situation back then that we have now. Now let's talk about that. Why is there so many homeless people today in California, especially cities like Oakland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, even Sacramento? I mean, the last time I was in Sacramento, I was shocked at how much homelessness there is there. You know, in the capital. You know, also Stockton too. You know, you see that a lot out there too. But you see a lot of homelessness out there in the streets. You know where you don't see it as much, and I'm surprised you don't see it as much in Richmond. You would think you would see it a lot in Richmond, but I notice in Richmond you don't really see a lot of homeless encampments. And if you do, you might see one here and there. And the only area that I've noticed like homeless people is mostly like at the bottom of McDonald Avenue going towards the railroad tracks because I think there's a couple of rescue missions over there. But other than that, you don't. That's this. Richmond is surprisingly the only city where you don't see an out of control homeless problem like you do in Oakland. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I mean the homeless, but that's another thing. People keep saying that housing expensive, and I get that housing is expensive. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna say that it's not. But how much of it is actually people who can't afford to live somewhere, and how much of it is actually people who are drugged out who just don't care, you know, or who are just lost or have mental issues. And why is that? That's another question I ask myself. And some people say, um, uh, that's a question I ask myself. Why isn't there more mental health services Why is, people say that Ronald Reagan closed down all the mental services in the 80s, and that's why we have the problem we have now. But why is it with all these so-called liberals we have now, why have none of them implemented programs to help the people who are mentally unstable? Because it seems like there's a lot of people that are mentally unstable. And yes, with gentrification, let's keep it real, bro. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, a house in the hood costs you 3,000 to rent. No more, like 5,000 to rent if you're lucky in the hood. You know, but why isn't there more things? In recent, well, mental health, drug addiction, minorities was the other. Straight up, no lie. Yeah, so I'm saying, why is it that, especially we claim to have the yeah, my Wi-Fi is messed up, bro. So I could do it on my phone. I haven't done it on my phone in a long time. Um, why is it that with the liberal government we claim to have, why is it we don't have more things to help out people with mental issues? Why isn't there more drug programs? And you know what I mean? And what's it gonna take to fix and solve this, man? And the liberals, another problem with them is they showed their true colors when the gentrification happened before COVID. Because all the liberal politicians of Oakland, of San Jose, of San Francisco, they showed their true fucking colors. And I think Gato Negro will agree with me because he's the other political brother on here right now. They showed their true colors. They showed that they don't give a flying fuck about the people. They sold us out to the tech companies like there was no tomorrow. They gave them tax breaks. They let them take over whatever properties they wanted. They gave them all everything they wanted, bro. You know what I mean? And yeah, they showed their true colors. So that just goes to show you, Democrat, Republican, none of these people care about you, man. None of these people give a fuck about you. Much about the homeless. I mean, the thing is, what can be really done? You know what I mean? They stay using on low income housing projects, show them first. People dropped out of society. I believe it, man. Google bought half of San Jose. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That Dr. Nagel. I always tell people, these liberal politicians of the Bay, they claim to be so much for the people and so much for this, but they showed their true colors right there. You know what I mean? They showed their true colors. But yeah, what can be done to help the homelessness? And let's talk about the last point that I wanted to talk about. So a lot of people now are blaming the defund the police, the George Floyd protest, the defund the police, uh, the people like Chesa Boudin, who's not in office anymore, but who people say he was soft on crime. The what's her name, Pamela Price, the district attorney now in Oakland or in Alameda County. They're saying that she's very soft on crime too, which we're not sure yet, um, but some people say she's soft on crime, and how much of that is true? You know, how much of that is true? Did cities really defund the police? And is that one of the reasons why crime went up around COVID? Uh, are district attorneys and lawmakers more soft on crime? And my thing is, in my day, we had plenty of police, and we were still crime was out of control. So you know what I mean? No, only city that did that was in Washington. Well, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if cities really did defund the police. I think that was just a talking point. I don't know if an actual city did it. I know definitely a lot of cops retired supposedly around that time because some cops just didn't want to continue going. And do the police make a difference? Now, I don't disagree with having the police, but I don't think they're needed in every situation. But there's definitely situations where they're definitely needed. But my thing is that a part of the is that a reason why crime is out of control? People are doing whatever they want. Why it seems like there's anarchy in the streets? You know what I mean? Even though there really isn't, but there's just more people that are more emboldened than they were in the past. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So how many of you guys think the defund the police is part of it, or or after the George Floyd protests happened, did that create some of the situations we're in now? Frisco almost can't take a crap in front of buildings. The city does nada. And I wonder if any did any police force actually defund their police though? That's the thing I always wondered. Or that's just a cop out people use. I think COVID made the knock off a couple heads out to control the population. I mean, fentanyl, bro, the fentanyl crisis. I mean, let's face it, the new fentanyl crisis is the new crack epidemic, bro. It is. You know what I mean? The only problem with defunding my only thing with not necessarily defunding the police, because I don't really have a problem with defunding certain things in the police, but my whole thing about abolishing the police, like some of the more fringe groups think about, is that if you abolish the police, eventually you're gonna have vigilanteism, and uh, vigilanteism is gonna be worse than having a police because vigilantes don't take prisoners. You know what I mean? And basically, you're gonna revert back to the old west where you lynch motherfuckers for doing something messed up. And who wants to live in a society like that? You know what I mean? Look at countries like Guatemala or like southern part of Mexico or even Colombia where they'll still lynch your ass if you do something bad. So you know what I mean? That's what basically people are gonna revert to if you get rid of the police. I don't get why some of these people don't realize that that's what's gonna happen. So that's the kind of society you want to live in. All right, abolish the police then. When the government's gone, do what the guy says. Basically, got to eye for an eye. So my thing is, if you're gonna get rid of the police, well, don't you better take away gun right laws because give people the right to arm themselves. We need to do some type of law and order. Are also some of the least responsible people to replace the government. Well, yeah, that's a whole topic unto itself. Those guys don't even know how to tie their own shoes sometimes. But yeah, it's just something I wanted to talk about for a while. You know what I mean? And what do you think about? Do you guys? Okay, just answer me this one in the comments. Do you think we should be strict with the law, or do you think we should be easy with the law? My take on it is, if you're out there being a pendejo and you keep constantly doing stupid things, and hey, you do the crime, you do the time. That's just my take on it. If it's someone that got caught up for doing something dumb, and you could fix them, then fix them. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know. I don't straight up strict 24/7 like how we were in the 90s is really gonna solve anything, because it didn't solve anything back then. Crime was still out of control in the 90s, and we had some strict ass laws in California. People forget about that. What I think is the ultimate goal of a lot of people, at least those who create laws. This is my take, and Gato Negro, let me know what you think. Um, I think I think they're gonna let the crime get a little out of control to where the people demand everything be strict again, and they're gonna come back very strict on things, and it's gonna be messed up, messed up strict. That's what I think is gonna happen, but I could be wrong. Those people saying that live in the hills so they don't deal with crime. Yeah, when fools start going to their hills house and breaking into their house and tying them up, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, oh well, I changed my stand. There's probably already some people like that. But, I don't like over policing and I don't like really strict laws, but at the same time, more like Fujimori or Bukele, basically, that's what I think is gonna really happen, Gaconego. They're gonna pull a Bukele move for sure. Let's talk about that. Nayib Bukele and El Salvador, you know, a lot of people agree with them, a lot of people disagree with them. The let's keep it real. The problem with El Salvador is they had so many gangs out there that were out of control, that were murdering people and killing kids and sex trafficking underage girls and doing messed up things, that Nayib Bukele basically went after every single gang member and put them away. Supposedly, that's what they're saying. But some people are saying that he's also picking up anyone who disagrees with them, anyone, even people who aren't gang members, and that's not cool. And that's what I don't like about a police state, you know. But yeah, I mean, who knows? They might try to get strict like that here eventually. They're gonna try to pull a move like that. They're gonna say, "Oh, crime is so out of control. Let's bring in the National Guard. Let's build special prisons for the dummies." And yeah, it's gonna be hard. That could happen. We think that couldn't happen. That could happen, bro. That could happen very easily. It could happen, bro. All you gotta say is just put a bad guy in front of it and say, "This is who we're going after. We're not going after you. We're going after this guy right here." And people are like, "Okay, all right, put him away." That's what happened in El Salvador. So they put the face of a Madero and said, "No, we're not coming after you. We're coming after him." And they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, his police are absolute crap, but the move works, so all the other governments." Oh yeah, I know the Colombian government was because the Colombian government has a leftist president right now. ¿Cómo se llama? Petro. I know he was criticizing Bukele with the East Bay G. But I don't know. It's like I really don't know what to say on the situation, because anything I say, I'm not a lawmaker. I'm not in law enforcement. You know what I mean? His homegirl Xiomara Castro. That's what the president of what, of Honduras, right? Or Nicaragua. Honduras is another country that has a history of just problems too, unfortunately. But yeah, man, it's like, what would I do? I don't know. I really don't know, bro. I really don't know how to answer that because I don't know, bro. I definitely would want to start programs to help people, try to help people before they get into crime. Something. I would like to try to at least start programs that help people get off from drugs and being homeless and stuff like that. Um, and definitely law wise, yeah, if you're doing stupid stuff in Oakland, your ass is going to jail. Period. If you're not, then don't worry about it. And if you are doing crimes and you're not doing nothing stupid, maybe we could work with you. That would be my thing, bro. Some people say that's soft, but you know what I mean. But that's probably what I would do. I would try to help as many people as I can and try to get people from living that life. Try to get people to go back into 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 um into college and going or into trade schools or something. Give them some kind of hope, man. Entrepreneurship, whatever. The prime question is economic. You have a guaranteed secure employment. Exactly. Exactly. Definitely. I mean, I would be communistic with the rents and the real estate for sure if I was the leader of Oakland. I would try to abolish them getting over and overpricing people for rent. That would be the only thing communist I would do, for sure, for sure, for sure. The homeless that are around me, I don't think they're from Oakland originally. Yeah, I mean, I hear those stories too. That a lot of people come from other states to California to be homeless because it's easier to be home because they give a lot of incentives to homeless people out here. That's the story I hear. You know what I mean? Starting native sex call. Like some people we know, basically, Gato Negro. Yeah, it sucks that the A's are gonna leave, man. But unfortunately, those things are easier said than done. Once you're in a political office, it's not that easy, bro. It's not that cut and dry, which is the reason why we have these problems. They should can make mistakes where it's cheaper to house them. Politics are too corrupt. Things will never be fair. Oh yeah, like I said, man. Look at what happened during the gentrification of California before COVID. The so-called, I think a lot of homeless come out thinking here because 15-hour minimum wage. Yeah, yeah. But let's go to Jack and the Crack. Cholas for everybody. One, I would guarantee one cute chola for everybody. And anyway, at least for every Chicano in Oakland. But they come. It's not all rose and rainbow. Everything's expensive. And a lot of shit's closed up. But once again, like I was saying, Gato Negro, you know that the liberal politicians they showed their true colors. To me, that's showing their true colors when they sold out San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, and a lot of working class places to the tech companies. They showed their true colors, bro. Sophia. Santa Monica Pier. Hey, you know what movie I seen a preview of the other day? Remember the movie Falling Down? I think that's what's happening to society right now. What happened to that in that movie? That movie is very relevant to today. Nobody remembers that movie, Falling Down, with Michael Douglas, where he's like this nerdy guy who loses his job and he like goes crazy. His name was Defense in the movie. Well, that wasn't his name, but that's what they called him through the whole movie. I can't, bro. I'm not on. I'm not. My Wi-Fi's messed up, bro. I actually started. I started this with my thing. What's up, brother? 44, 44. The stupid 40s. I can't do it, bro. I can't send a link because yeah, his license. But they kept calling him Defense through the movie, I think. But I can't send a link to my StreamYard. I can't use it right now because my Wi-Fi is messed up. I had to do this live. I started this on my StreamYard earlier, and my Wi-Fi was just not working. So I had to start it on my phone. Let's do it next time, bro. If you want to come on again, let me know, bro. If you want to come on as a guest, you're always welcome, brother. You got me on IG, so let me know. Yeah, Defense. I'm just saying that movie, that movie's kind of real to what's going on today, bro. Seminary, Sam City. That fool. They marked that fool at the end. I love them. I'm gonna be like Big Mac and tell him to prep. Like, and oh yeah, he gets mad. The dumb old Wabby burger or what do you call it? I know, huh? The Warriors need defense. I like the part where he shoots the. Let me know, Junk Diesel. I told you, hit me up on IG, bro, and we can talk about it. Um, uh, yeah, I remember the the Mac tonight. I remember Mac tonight. The double whammy burger or something like that. He's like, look at this sorry flat burger. Yeah, on Instagram. You're on Instagram, right? That's where Lucrative Sounds is from. He's from 39, from the 39 block, 3900. I think all this crime is law enforcement taking a backseat to teach us all to defund the police and less. I believe so too, Martin. I've said that earlier. Orale. You don't have an IG? Like that, you could just private message me real quick. Just as easy. Oakland Latinos United, same as here. Well, yeah, just send me a message real quick, and then we could talk for sure. We could set up something. Yeah, if you want to come on, let me know, bro. Next live next week for sure. We could do one. Cat videos. R.I.P. Ñoño and Lechuga. 9400. But yeah, man. But I'm just saying, John, what happened to Pichu? Pikachu? Pichu. Falling Down. You never seen that movie, Cepeda? With Michael Douglas? It was a movie where about this guy. He's like a white guy with a suit and tie, and orale, you on the top, huh? Top of 39. That's the Laurel District up there with MacArthur. Yeah, Falling Down. Oh, Michael Douglas. Like the one where he shoots the golf cart. Remember that? And he's like, my heart. And he's like, you need your pills? Like, yes, my pills. They're in the car, and the car was sinking in the water. Remember that? And he was like, well, now you're gonna die. How's it feel to know you're gonna die with that stupid little hat on? Yeah, losing the right to his daughter. That movie was funny, bro. I know a lot of liberals criticize it a lot because it's about a white guy going crazy. They even say it was the original Joker movie about a white guy going crazy from society. I'm going home. Remember the cholos? Man, those were the most Puerto Rican looking cholos I ever seen, bro. He's like, give me your briefcase. He's like, he's got to pay a toll. He's like, we want your briefcase. That's it. And they try to kill him. He's like, what do he hit you with, man? Your credit card? That's it. Yeah, that was funny. That's a funny movie, bro. I tried to watch it. I know Puerto Rican shows from Hayward, huh? I heard that. They probably were from Hayward. I'm telling you, Gato Negro, they were the most Puerto. They look straight up like Puerto Rican or Dominican, bro. The two dudes who played the cholos. It was hella funny. He's like, well, if you wrote it in fucking English, I fucking don't understand it. But yeah, man. You see, bro, I was kind of irritated earlier when I got on here. Now I'm cheered up. No, because I'm saying that Falling Down. kind of reminds me of what's going on in California right now. It feels like that movie, bro. Like everything seems like it's falling down. Seriously, I don't know if you guys. That's why it's a good reference to what I'm talking about, the subject. Because the movie was what he was frustrated with crime. Uh, he was frustrated with crime and frustrated with with the way where the society was treating him, and frustrated with his ex-wife and with his not being able to see his daughter. I was just irritated earlier because I kept having problems on my my Wi-Fi's messed up, and then my phone started tweaking too. So I'm like, what the hell? So that's what had me really irritated earlier. It's lunchtime. I want a double whammy with eggs, like with quick serving breakfast. But think about it, man. The way he went in there entitled, that reminds me of a lot of fucking folks that go into fast food restaurants feeling all entitled now. Oh man, I want my money back, man. You didn't put mustard on my burger. Me, I was born at Highland Hospital. His way, I don't know. That was the reason why I started talking about falling down, because it kind of goes in line with what I'm talking about. There was a dude talking in Tyler like that at Derrick Bell. Oh, Derrick Bell and Hayward. I'm happy. You know what? I actually have been there many years ago. That one's on Tennyson, right? There used to be one in San Leandro too. I think a long time ago. Oh yeah. I remember that. I remember that when he was asking them for the what Food Max. Yeah. On Marina. Yup, I do remember it, bro. The Gary Bill. I think I went to that one, to one on Marina, a long time ago when it was still there. Well, yeah, man. I'm gonna end this live soon. So, any last words, man? What do you think can be done to solve the problems going on in California right now? Should be Santa Clara and one in South San Jose. Oh, really? I didn't know they had them in San Jose. That's pretty dope. So I'm just saying, like, what do you guys think can be done to solve the homelessness, the housing crisis, the crime out of control, people messing up the sideshows coming from out of town, doing the most? What do you guys think can fix all that, man? And I don't know. You know what I mean? What's in store for the future? It's crazy, man. It's crazy that the cycle keeps repeating, though. That's the thing that no one ever talks about. On the housing question, though, book is pretty good and still on point. Frederick Eagle. I'll check into it. Legalization of prostitution. I thought it already is legal in California. It's damn near is. They don't even send police to the blades no more. Straw. I think that's what's gonna happen in California. There's gonna be a straw that's gonna break the camel's back one day, and someone is gonna have an uproar over it. You know, like falling down. Learn the gospel. Maybe something at this point. Or do you think Booyaka might save it? Nah. We should send all the criminals to ham for overthrow of capital and very important to get rid of distinction between town and country, and you'll get a more stable society. Fluxes create crime and problem. Booyaka. It's gonna become a police state, more people in jail, more deportation. You think the Republicans are going to take over California? It could happen. A lot of people are too comfortable. They think it might not happen, but it could happen. Shock some liberals. But yeah, man. But hey, I'm gonna get off. I gotta get off. Just wanted to tap in, and I haven't had a live with Jay in a couple weeks, so I wanted to do one today. It's unfortunate my StreamYard wasn't working. It would have been nice to get some guests on the topic, but I couldn't do StreamYard because of my stupid Wi-Fi. So hopefully it'll be fixed by tomorrow. Hopefully, and we don't have to worry about this. But I'm gonna get off, bro. I want to get off too. I got some things I gotta do, but I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming on today. You know, we talked about crime in California. Gave you guys a little bit historical recap, and you know, hell yeah, the current so stupid Republican, no matter who's running, Democrats don't like the candidate, won't vote. Next time, bring it bummed and interrogate him. That'd be interesting, bro. I would bring in a homeless person to talk if you wanted to talk about the situations out there. I have no problem with that, you know. I'm not biased. I like to hear everybody's story for reals. Yeah, Samboy for sure. As long as he's coherent and could have a good conversation, I have no problem. You know what I mean? Talking to somebody who's out there. You know what I mean? Seeing the shit for himself and telling us the story of what he sees. That'd be interesting. If you guys know someone, send them my way, bro. You know what I mean? But with that, man, you guys be safe. I'm gonna get off. And I'll talk to you guys soon. And you guys be safe. Take care. Don't get in no trouble. Don't booyaka yourselves. And keep pimping. Keep simping. And keep doing what you gotta do. Hopefully by tomorrow my Wi-Fi should be fixed. And que la lavas. And I have better connection tomorrow. But I'll talk to you guys later, man. You guys be safe. Late.